map that has eluded us for a little while. Social vote 72% favoring TSM, and well, you know what? Off the back of that MIBR win over Parabellum, I probably agree with this. I think TSM definitely come into this feeling strong. They're 3-2. Parabellum fresh off a loss, and I hate to say it, but we are the Parabellum curse. We haven't actually cast a single one of their wins yet, only their losses.
Yeah, this is the first time as well we're going to actually be casting TSM. I've caught a little bit of them here and there, but not as much as I would have liked. So excited to see if their form is strong at the moment. Of course, stage 1 for them in NAL was amazing, but last year they were definitely up there in the North American region. The first 2 bans come through on the attack. It's Thatcher and IQ, which could make clearing some of that defensive utility a little bit trickier, particularly the likes of Valkyrie and Echo, which both will scale through the ban phase.
I do wonder with the IQ ban on the board whether or not we will see the Valk ban come out in contest. No, it's going to be MIRA. So MIRA taken out to finish off the ban phase here for these 2 teams. As I said before, TSM, this is their second last match of the group stage. After this, they are going to be playing NIP. So 2 opportunities for them to secure a place in the top 4, which at this stage could still very well be first placed when it's all said and done at the end of today. We'll see how that goes. And as you mentioned, neither team, of course, can be relegated. For Parabellum, this is their final match. It'll either be 4-3 or 3-4. I think regardless, either one of those 2 finishes in terms of their overall score probably exceeded expectations at the very beginning of 6 Invitational.
Well, we're already going to see that IQ ban have an impact in round number 1. Geo is going to 6-pick off Ella on to the Valk. Again, those cameras will be tricky to find on the attack, and if he places them outside, they'll be difficult to find. Even inside as well, if he tucks them away, they can be very tricky to locate. That's something that we'll need to monitor throughout this match, as I expect both teams on the defense will want to bring as much information to the table as possible.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I thought maybe we'd see the response and just take the Valk off the board and then no one gets to play with their toys. But yes, as you said, with IQ gone, Black Eyes going to be a little harder to get rid of. So that's more information for the defending teams. TSM going to get first crack at this with Geo on the Valkyrie. It's going to be Stat Trophy first up. There goes one of the first Black Eyes, and they are going to be able to extend over towards AVG, Aviator Games, and extend out in this entire second floor.
Parabellum looking to bounce back from their earlier matchup against MIBR. Not the result they would have wanted, and doesn't bode well for them against TSM, many of whom have penciled in as a pretty strong team in this tournament. Maybe not the strongest of the strong, but still a very good team that cannot be underestimated. And being from the same region as Parabellum, up in North America, they're going to have a pretty good read on one another and have some clashing playstyles in this matchup. TSM likely favored in that outcome as Merc in study narrowly misses a player crossing in spawn. Parabellum setting up for a take into bedroom.
Parabellum, of course, fresh off of their loss to MIBR, so they're hot and steamy and ready to get into this game. TSM, of course, may take them a couple of rounds to warm up if they do start a little slow. The other thing to remember as well, Parabellum got off to an amazing start against MIBR, winning 3 of the first 4 rounds before faltering a little bit and really stagnating after that. They will not want the same to repeat if they do, in fact, get off to a good start here on Villa. On the attack first up, Spirits on the Dockerby over towards the Skylight and can be a nuisance late into the round. Minute 40, bit of a slow start, nothing too crazy. TSM, no real spawn peaks, although may look to find it later in other rounds.
Spirits on the Skylight may look to repel late into this round, can dump utility like smoke canisters, or smoke grenades rather, as well from that location. That said, the breach hasn't been fully open and it's going to be tough for Parabellum to connect and execute, but Penguin sends it deep. Spirits meanwhile finds the double to open up the round, and TSM need to try and get themselves back into this one. Sharla does drop the kit. It's a critical kill at that. Parabellum need to pick it back up and try and drop it back down for the plant.
Oh, Geo trying to swing into Stat, and unfortunately just gets beaten up. Euphoria in a good position. C4 goes out from Achieved and will achieve that kill. And to stop that plant going down, TSM's 2 remaining players really making this difficult for the 3 from Parabellum. Esker's going to take his turn now to try and get this diffuser down. The 2 before him have failed. The swing for Chala is going to be a fail too. Spirits has got 3 for the round. Make it a quad. Picking up the final kill. Great start for Parabellum.
Oh, that's big there. From the Dockerby. The DMR will rain down hell on TSM. Multiple big kills. He got the 2 openers and then he closed out the round as well. It was a crazy execute. Penguin to the right of screen, sent it through bricks, made his way all the way to the chassis, and in fact Achieve there, or Geo rather, was shut down as Achieve then hit that C4. Close there from Chala as he tried to deny the plan as well, but the crosses were covered there. Spirits, again, a huge impact late in that round. It was a hectic execute, but Parabellum edge out on top.
Good start for Parabellum, but it's all about momentum and how they're going to be able to hold that momentum for a bit longer than they were able to against MIBR. TSM didn't really do anything too wrong. I mean, they were able to stop that plant going down at least 2 times before eventually losing all of their lives for it. It was Spirits who opened it up. Obviously on the Dockerby, getting those 2 initial picks, 4 for the round to close it out. So from start to finish, Spirits the standout, which is not a surprise. Had a 1.24 rating in the previous matchup. Only went 12-9, so when you look at it like that, nothing too crazy, but went 2-0 on the entry, and is very much a key, integral part of this Parabellum roster alongside Esker, who had another monstrous effort against MIBR despite the loss. It's those 2 to keep an eye on in this match, and it's Spirits to lead the way early in the first round.
The Mute Mozzie combo being brought out here by TSM, Chala and Geo respectively, able to combine and deny some of the utility that Parabellum, or the drones rather, that they will be using to gain intel in this round. We saw Geo during the prep phase seeing if he could maybe find a drone or 2 that was not tucked away correctly, but of course there's still 10 available for Parabellum, so they've done a good job in hiding those drones, pre-placing them, and they are ready to clear this roam established by TSM.
And it just drones out study. Geo now going to rotate back over towards Trophy, puts up the barricade. Decent amount of intel can be gained off that late into the round as they play above. And Parabellum will make their push in now through study as they clear out the 2nd floor and try and flush out any of the TSM roamers who have all fallen back for the most part.
Good time waste here by TSM. A minute gone and Spirits only now really establishing a foothold inside of AVG. Esker as well on the rappel can watch over towards heads. Long angles established here, but as you mentioned, TSM ready and waiting to fall back. Not wanting to play their lies on that side of the map, instead play a bit more aggressively, and the likes of Bathroom Achieved with the MP5 in hand could find himself in an engagement shortly alongside Penguin on the balcony.
Minute and 20 seconds remaining. TSM have been able to really buy a lot of time here, and it's going to make Parabellum's attack probably chaotic towards the latter stages of the round. Nitrocell out from Bolo. It does connect, but not too much. Just a tickle onto Spirits. Keeps most of his life intact, but is wounded slightly. Achieved still lingering in Bath. All the timing here.
Wait.
The timing and the bait from Spirits. He's got 5 in a row, although Achieved the swing from above will get the headshot kill. Finally shuts him down. The killing spree has ended from Spirits. 4 versus 4, 50 seconds left.
Achieved shoots the camera there with a little tablet so it can't be claimed. It's a 4 versus 4. 35 seconds left on the board. Vertical has been established here by Esker and the Sledgehammer. But where do they go from here? The kit is outside laundry. Oh, maybe it will be sheets, in fact. It's going to be a dining plan here for Parabellum, but Chala's ready and waiting. He gets 1, lands damage onto the 2nd, but it's Sona to hit the refrag, getting it back to a 3-on-3.
And Sona's low. Not going to want to get into an engaged gunfight here. Especially this wallbang game, he'll go down pretty quickly. 10 seconds left, though. Has to make something happen. Just pushes onto site. Geo holding in kitchen. Sona's going to go for the plant, but Geo will swing out surely and just deny this one with the Nitrocell. Easy as that. Slam dunk. TSM on the board. 1-1.
You are out of time.
Solid work there from TSM. Really well-established roam game. They were able to deny a lot of time and achieved went undetected, it would seem, inside of Bathroom to hit the refrag over towards Astro Stairs. And from there, Parabellum didn't look great for them. They tried to push themselves in through Sheets, but they didn't really have enough vert established on Kitchen, allowing the likes of Bolo and Geo to sit back, ready and waiting. They commed it well. The C4 flew out. An easy plant denial in the end for them, and they claimed the round.
And a lot of time wasted really comes down to it, and that sort of forces, you know, Sona to make that late ditch. I mean, look, you can see there, 5 seconds left, basically. Around 6 seconds, sort of, when he starts trying to stick it late. But, I mean, it was easy. Geo just has to wait. Throw out that Nitro Cell. TSM were always covered to win that round. 1-1 here in Villa. Mixed bag from Parabellum. First round was all about Spirits getting those opening picks and creating that avenue forward. Second round, despite finding a pick, was then immediately traded. And when you lose that front man and you lose that power of Spirits, and you can see quickly how easily Parabellum just fall apart after that. TSM now move over to AVG for what is now round 3.
Of course, it's important that Parabellum are not reliant on a single player to step up here. It was Spirits in that first round, but cannot be relying on players to be consistently getting 3 or 4 Ks, as Achieved finds that drone there cheekily. That's one less for Parabellum. Needs to be a well-rounded effort here from the Canadians. They've shown up in this group stage thus far. It was a little bit of off start for them is maybe one way to describe it, losing 07 Oxygen. But since then, they've managed to bounce back quite nicely, and they'll now be looking to bounce back once again after losing earlier to MIBR.
Yeah, exactly. And this is really going to test the mental fortitude of Parabellum. Fresh off a loss to MIBR. They had an opportunity. They were 3-2. Could they get 4-2, top the group? Unfortunately, they failed that test. Now they've got a pretty difficult task ahead of them to defeat TSM here to at least go 4-3 and +1 in the group stage. Otherwise, 3-4 will be their final placing. Spirits will place out one of those logic bombs, clear out the default as he pushes through China. And for Parabellum, it's all about the time here. Got to be a little bit quicker with their attack, in their approach, and especially flushing out these roamers of TSM. Achieved especially.
Been a tricky start for TSM, but they have beaten the only North American opponent they have played against so far in SSG, so that gives us a little bit of a form guide, maybe against a similar playstyle. Of course, not going to be the exact same by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit more similar to the likes of what we're seeing from EU and APAC. Sona, meanwhile, taking aggressive foothold inside of bedroom. Bolo needs to be careful, but Sona misses his shots. Bolo under the pump.
He's maybe pinched here as well. Instead, he's going to get swung. No, never mind. They don't realize. Oh, somehow wins that. Thought Bolo had him dead to rights. But Eska just comes out on top when it was least expected. Minute 20 left in the round. Parabellum now with an advantage here as they push in through Astro. And they can start to get close to sight. Diffuser is easily picked up. And, wow, suddenly a good round shaping up for Parabellum. Achieved. Can he find something late in the round with the flank?
Just correcting my earlier statement, TSM, of course, did take down Oxygen, so I guess that only favors them even more so, unfortunately. I had a brain dead moment. Parabellum looked to activate their brains in the latter stages of this round. It's been the most difficult phase for them thus far, but they have got some good control on 90. Charla aggressors on that breach, not backing down without a fight. Still 2 shields established here from TSM as well on the northern side of the map. So they could set themselves up for a retake if they so desired, although in saying that, Achieved will be pressured from Library very, very quickly here.
And Eska's low as well for Parabellum, so hey, despite having the 5-on-4 advantage, you got a player that's low, can't necessarily be that front line initiation. Spirits, I'm not sure exactly how he's beaten Achieved there, thought he...
Another
Well, it's happened about 3 times now, TSM losing these 1v1s when they looked like they had it in the bag each time. And Parabellum just keep coming up with the goods. Geo in Vault able to stop one. He gets a second one onto Sona. Now all of a sudden 2 versus 1, but for the time being 1v1 because Penguin has to stick to Diffuser. Geo can swing out. No, Eska shuts him down. Those sight lines. And they're pumped up here on Villa.
You can see the energy from Parabellum. The first 3 gunfights, you could argue TSM could have won. Every single time they Parabellum, whether rightly or wrongly, flicked them and hit the nutty shots to win them out. Bolo probably could have won that one. Esker maybe not playing off intel correctly there. Then Spirits on the stairs gets yet another. And there was a third there inside of Study as well. So Parabellum playing well there. TSM maybe not gaining enough intel on those entries.
It doesn't look good on the replays as well. That almost makes it look worse than in real time. Of course, in real time, it all happens a bit snappier and quicker than that. But on the replays, it's almost like he's stuck and frozen in time.
Attackers need to
For
locate
Parabellum,
and defuse bombs.
they show their mental fortitude to not allow TSM to sort of run away with things after fighting back and taking that kitchen dining site. And now Parabellum have got two. They took out Stat Trophy before. Can they continue this momentum and find 2 round wins in a row for the first time here on Villa? And if they can do that, guys, they will go 3-1 and be in the same predicament as they were on Cafe earlier against MIBR.
Oh, you know what time it is then? Time for some Pog Matt spam in the chat as Charla brings her out. The Frost, of course. It may well be an extension towards the walk-in closet. That's something we haven't really seen a whole lot, particularly off the back of the Jaeger and Wamai adjustments. Wamai has been brought to the table here, which would delay any utility clearance if TSM elect to hold that location hard, but it might just be some sort of soft extension, some additional lines of sight created to make that vault in a little bit scarier. For Parabellum, and I guess in terms of that scare factor, they are also extending over towards AVG as well to delay that, but I think all focus should be on here at the moment. If Parabellum can clear out this location effectively with utility, I think it's Geo holding it at the moment, and that will set themselves up nicely for this round.
And so far for Parabellum, where they're definitely going right is these opening picks. They're constantly finding them, courtesy of Spirits twice now. Esker, the other. So no surprise, of course, we've already set those sort of stakes that it's the Spirits and Esker show for Parabellum, and they are showing up once again against this competition that is TSM. Trying to clear out all of this utility inside a closet. Geo, in fact, is pretty much cosplaying as utility as well.
So many ADS devices and Wamai magnets and Suya gates that need to be dealt with here, and Geo can just wriggle around and stay safe for now. Penguin confirms that a player is actually in this position, but now those ADS devices have likely reset. They've really missed their opportunity here, Parabellum, and Geo can just sit tight.
And Bolo can swing out, get the opening pick onto Penguin. Oh, Geo is doing whatever he's doing in closet, almost like the Matrix, ducking and weaving. And a lot of time has been taken off the clock now, courtesy of this unsuccessful clear out of closet. This is great for TSM. Haven't been able to clear out Geo, who could come back to bite Parabellum now.
This is a hold in theory, which should be very difficult for the defense, but in practice, it is working out really, really nicely here. So much projectile denial. And Parabellum are just playing into the hands of TSM, and they're falling one by one. It's Spirits and Esker on the other side of the map now. In fact, Spirits taken down. It's just Esker on the other side of the map to recover what has been a devastating round here for Parabellum. He enters in towards Aviator, but you can just see TSM training so many guns on this location. It's an unwinnable round here for Parabellum. TSM showing some strong form here so far.
And Parabellum losing control of that diffuser early over to the hands of TSM, and not much that really Esker is expected to be able to do here, other than just to sort of go down with a bit of dignity, maybe just pump up a few of his stats. See if he can find a kill. Not going to happen. It's flawless in the end from TSM. And it's back and forth right now on Villa. 1-1 and then 1-1. Not too surprising, because Parabellum is a team that, as we've continued to watch SI compete with just about any team, guys, and they're competing with TSM, but I have to say, it just feels like TSM edging Parabellum a little bit, despite the 2-2 scoreline.
Geo in the closet there really was the kryptonite for Parabellum. Now, that extension is not particularly new, but in the current meta, it's not something that we see frequently. As I briefly mentioned, both Wamai and Jaeger have been nerfed, at least somewhat, in the utility game. but they brought those two operators plus the Aruni, which made it quite difficult for Parabellum to flush out that location. They timed it pretty well for the most part, but they just didn't quite have enough to clear it out efficiently. Didn't work out in the end. Gio could literally just lie there and I don't know what he was doing, playing with himself. I don't know what he was doing. He was just lie there. There's nothing that he had to do. He could just, I don't know. He could just chill out, you know? Not much that had to be done. He could, yeah, like I mentioned, just chill out. Yeah. He was giving some calls, of course, to the players on the balcony, and he could play from there.
10 seconds left.
And it was also the first round, by the way, that TSM found an opening pick. Of course, they got more than that. They got the flawless round, so they're looking good. In the rounds that TSM have won, have been quite clean, executing perfectly. Parabellum a little bit more scrappy, and certainly just relying on Spirits for the most part. If Spirits doesn't pop off, neither does Parabellum. And that right there is a bit of a weak link, that there's maybe too much of a reliance on one and at times two players, whether it's Spirits and or Esker. TSM playing much more as a team.
Going to be a top-down clear here for Parabellum as they rappel up onto the balcony. Olo, though, in the common position down below. And with that scanner out, he can clearly discern where these players are pushing from and relay that to the rest of the team, such as Merc, who are playing up above, achieved as well on the roam. And TSM are committing to these off-site roams quite frequently. Parabellum needing to clear these players out. I guess with the Dokkaebi in hand, that could be possible. Not bringing the Jackal, though, or any... Actually, they are bringing Frank Watch in the hands of the Nomad, as Esker gets the first pick. So it is Merc, one of the roamers taken down quite cleanly as well. And that will allow Spirits actually to come across, pick up that camera and hack the defensive utility.
And this is where TSM now have to decide, do you start to maybe bring back a few of these roamers? You've just lost Merc, you don't really lose another one. Suddenly it's 5 versus 3. Charla off the board. And this is where things can just obviously spin out of control if you're TSM. People roam around, they get picked off, and then there's only 2 or 3 left on site. A couple of Nitro cells, I think, just got thrown up and above. In fact, both Gio and Bolo have used theirs, along with Achieved. But I'm pretty sure they're all just pre-placed. I don't think I've seen the explosions go off, guys, unless I've missed it. There's one.
Well, there's none left, so TSM can't rely on that anymore. In fact, they've all been expended.
I'm pretty sure they were
pre-placed. They were pre-placed, so can't play off them necessarily actively, but if they have the intel, they could play off Bolo, for example. Still has that scanner available and finds a pick onto Spirits. Achieve, though, sneaks up the stairs. Will he find the kill? No. Euphoria says goodnight. And now it's Bolo and Gio left. It's just Gio in the 1 versus 2.
Gio just playing from this kitchen position right now. He's in a decent spot considering the time left. 1 versus 2. Asker and Euphoria both low, or at least half health. Gio full, although this is not winnable. Surely, Gio. Come on now. This is a difficult shot, and he hits it. He's made for the big moments. So is TSM. And we'll come back in that round after a disaster start. They close it out with the round win.
Gio, don't leave him in the clutch scenario. He will win those out time and time again. It was good work from Parabellum to shut down the rotations back above, and for the most part, they survived the bombarding of Nitro cells. But Gio, with such a tight angle at the end, they're able to find the final 2 picks. Some great discipline and some great concentration to close out the round.
And for Parabellum, I mean, they've just completely thrown that round more than anything. TSM relying on Gio in the end, and he, of course, comes up big. You expect that from Gio in those moments, hitting those shots, but should it even get to that position for TSM, losing players early, that means that they've got to make these big plays late into these rounds. They're able to do it. They're able to capitalize and close out. But against the top teams, are they going to be able to do it? I'm not so sure. But a team like Parabellum, who, you know, at times have been a bit shaky in closing rounds out. We saw that earlier against MIBR. They're able to let TSM off the hook. That's going to really bite Parabellum in the behind now because they're down 2-3. They give 2 rounds in a row now over to TSM. That builds the momentum that you do not want TSM to have. And unfortunately, Spirits has just gone a little bit quiet for Parabellum in the last couple of rounds. He started off huge in the opening round, getting a 4K. Since then, only 2 kills in the following 4 rounds after that. They need him to start finding kills for Parabellum to turn this around.
Aviator games will be the objective for TSM. Bring that Maestro to the table will allow Gio to make some call-outs to his teammates late round and deny potentially a plan here from Parabellum, who have been lacking a little bit in closing out some of these late round scenarios. The scoreboard, of course, reflective of that inability to win out the late round. Extension as well, again, from TSM, who are loving playing the entirety of the floor here on Villa. It's Bolo on Goyo, using one of those shields to fortify his position. If Parabellum go for a map sweep, they'll need to try and clear him out, but he's already back towards site. In fact, the entire half of the map now clear for Parabellum to claim.
And a good sign for TSM has been their ability to win at disadvantages. This is probably also considered a bad sign for Parabellum. Final round in this first half, and the defense from TSM has looked pretty decent for the most part. Nothing too much to complain about. Really, the only thing that has been a downfall, and I think we can all agree, has just been some of those shots in the earlier rounds. They just lost quite a few ones that they should have been winning. Some really good snapshots from Parabellum. Besides that, everything else has been good from TSM, from the roam game to their defensive structure. It's just all about now getting the wins on the board, and we're starting to see that in the last couple of rounds. Bolo just going to be forced back to site playing in that corridor, and 1 minute and 25 seconds left in this round, guys. And again, time is going to be an issue for Parabellum.
Quite a bit of denial here as well by TSM in terms of the drone economy for Parabellum, who will need to use the remaining drones effectively to find out where these players are located. Bolo now reinforcing himself behind a secondary shield in the long hallway. If Penguin tries to hard breach this wall, it could be tricky for Bolo to deny, but if he swings at the right time, he might be able to. Instead, though, some good flashes in response from Parabellum will make that a tricky task. They will also clear out any ADS devices, potentially covering that shield. Bolo knows that. He falls back, and Parabellum are now starting to get a little bit of a grip on this objective.
Yeah, shield gone, so probably just going to hold in sight now. Not worth really trying to swing that corridor, especially when there's like 3 players that are going to be maybe peeking you. Esker, surely, no, he can't capitalize. The Nitrocell misses as well. 2 whiffs from 2 really star players. Esker, though, will capitalize this time. Takes out Achieved. Advantage Parabellum. But this has been where they're falling in some of these rounds. Not able to close out. Sona gets 1, but here comes Gio on the Maestro to bring TSM back into this round once again. Gets help from Merc along with Charla. It's happening again, guys. TSM from a disadvantage are somehow going to find the round win. Gio, he's got 2 for the round. TSM closing out the half in style. Esker gets 1 back, but time is gone. And so is the round. TSM, 3 round wins in a row.
They're just too good. TSM are just too good in the late round. Parabellum are winning the odd one here and there, but it's not converting into strong teamwork in the latter stages of these rounds. We're seeing them fall back time and time again from these extensions, wasting a fair amount of time and then able to reclaim territory when required. All of the players for TSM stepping up as required and playing their roles perfectly so far. Parabellum not really having a response. That said, I would say a 2-4 is respectable on the attack here on Villa. They are, of course, taking down or attempting to take down a very difficult opponent. So they've just got to keep that mental strong, and maybe on their defense, they could do the same to their opponents.
Yeah, right now it's the Geo show. I think we can rightfully say that. Not sure exactly how both of those, Esker and Achieved, managed to keep whiffing with the Nitrocell, with the shots as well. And the Geo just gets it done upstairs when it matters, when it's in that crunch time. Parabellum again, you know, the clock against them, having to rush around, try and swing every corner. Just not really looking all that coordinated on their attacks, and it just falls by the wayside. TSM now switch over to the attack in this second half. Parabellum on the defense. It is going to be AVG to start. And we'll see whether or not Parabellum can stop this TSM onslaught, because it's been a couple of rounds in a row now, guys. 3 to be exact. In fact, 4 rounds of the last... Yeah, 4 of the last 5 have gone now to TSM. So It is not looking good at the moment for Parabellum.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Not looking great. As we can see the round breakdown. Rounds traded at the beginning, but TSM just too good in the late round to close out a lot of these rounds, and particularly the last few. Will their proficiency be as good on the attack though? Achieved on the entry. Taking quick control here. With those grenades in hand, he could rain a bit of terror from below. The utility as well, if required.
I've got a fun stat.
Just taking a breath. Hit me.
Geo with a 1.99 rating currently off the back of that first half. The rest of the members on TSM all below 1. He is carrying right now for this team when they've needed him the most. Another maybe not so fun fact has been Spirits as we watch him now in the Jaeger. 6-3 and 5. We recall back to the opening round, he got a 4K, he got a quad to start this entire match off. Since then, he has just gone quiet, and that's been a big reason why Parabellum have not been able to fire much of a shot. Just under 2 minutes to go in this 7th round. And I'm very much looking to TSM to play the clock game a little bit better than what Parabellum did.
Stun grenade out.
TSM starting to dump utility in towards Study as they look to clear the shield at the top of Brown Stairs. The first of the Ash charges doesn't connect, but that nade does do some good work. Spirits as he falls back. Tries to find the pick. It's Penguin with this smoke canister to finish that one off. It's Bolo off the board. The Inox scanner no longer able to find these defenders, but for the most part, they are in towards site. TSM know that. Just need to be mindful, of course, of the players around 90, for example. And a good start to the round here for Parabellum. They fall back, and they need to hold out for another minute.
Stand by to witness the punch.
And this has really been the only major blip for TSM, has been these opening picks. 6 out of 7 of these rounds now has gone the way of Parabellum. So it's all well and good that TSM currently up 4-2, and probably a good sign that they are actually still able to win these rounds despite being at a disadvantage pretty much almost every single time. But if Parabellum can start getting a few wins here on the defense now on Villa, it is going to maybe catch up a little bit quicker than you would like if you're a TSM fan. 30 seconds left on the clock. Charla pushing in, so is Merc. But this is where TSM shine, guys. This is where they hit their shots and bring the round back to their advantage late in the final 20 seconds.
A good amount of plant denial available here to Parabellum. They need to lean into their man advantage to close this round out. But Geo is attempting a plant, but my word, where has that come from? Parabellum just commit. It's a flawless round in the end. It's a strong response in the late round.
Okay. That was a little bit too rapid for my liking there. TSM just get covered in bullets late in that round, hyped them up and said, hey, this is where TSM shine. They usually push in, find a few kills, win the round, easy as that. But no, it goes the other way. This time it's Parabellum. Spirits, oh wow, that's a great shot. In the end, it was the gas that got the kill. But yeah, look at that. So that's like, what, 4 deaths in about 1.5 seconds? I didn't quite get a timer on that one, guys, but it was really quick. And a much-needed round win for Parabellum because TSM, as I said before, had won 4 out of the previous 5 rounds. And so finally, a bit of momentum has been halted.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
The good news as well for Parabellum is that they were able to actually convert an opening kill. There's only been 1 round where Parabellum haven't gotten the opening kill, which is a very impressive stat against TSM, who in their own right have some particularly strong entry players. And it was just that late round that was letting them down a little bit, but maybe they are putting our doubts to bed after that last round. Quick fire, rapid kills to close it out. TSM not even being given an opportunity to blink. In fact, if you blinked, you would have missed that execute.
10 seconds to insertion.
Well, that failed execute, I guess, for TSM, unfortunately.
5 seconds left.
We head over, though. This stat, it's an extension from Parabellum. How hard will they hold this, though? We saw TSM extending, but for the most part, it was a time waste, so they fell back quite quickly. But maybe Parabellum could hold it a little bit more aggressively.
And I think the other thing to remember here, maybe we didn't touch on it enough in the first half, but I would say a large reason for that is there's only been 7 matches of Villa so far at 6 Invitational in the group stage, which is actually tied for the least amount of maps played. but it has the highest defensive win rate at 60% from the 78 rounds that have played out on Villa. Now that's pretty high. That's quite substantial. And it means that a 4-2-1 for TSM on their defense is realistically par for the course, which now means that the switch of the half Parabellum are expected to do a little bit better on the defense. So it is more up to TSM to find something here as they do push forward. They don't want to waste too much time with this quote-unquote extended hold, but it's not really a hold, as you said. A bit more of a time waster, which honestly, well played from TSM right now. Haven't really wasted that much time at all.
Olo taken down first in the last round, but on this occasion, he can start to scan out these defenders, forcing them to rotate. Charla on the flank watch can set up his air jabs as well, and that means that this side of the map is pretty safe for TSM. This is only the first of many objectives to be completed, though. Will they commit to a full push on this side of the map? It looks like Achieve might apply some additional pressure elsewhere alongside Geo in bedroom. May well try and get the breach open, and that will deter some of Parabellum from holding back the push coming from the south.
I was about to say TSM doing all right for time, but then Penguin finds the first pick. That's Charla taken off the board. No Mad, no more. Merc just standing over his corpse with the diffuser in hand. Can't just put everything onto the back of Geo. Need others to stand up. Achieve. Esker from below. Nice. Oh, that is so close. Does still get the down onto Bolo. Won't get that information. Nice swing from Merc, though. He's able to get the execution onto Euphoria. Not sure if Bolo is going to be able to get picked back up based on the proximity of the remaining TSM members, guys, but 45 seconds left on the clock here, 4 versus 4. This is winnable. Merc, though, will buy some time to go and get that revival while Geo gets the pick onto Sona. There's a good chance here for TSM to get an attacking round.
Oh, TSM struggling to open that breach. Forced to go Astro. Those mute jammers really making life difficult for this attack. Achieved on the rappel. Needs to try and cover this cross. Merc teases the plant, but he gets shut down. Bolo unable to trade that one out. It's Esker, though, in the 1v2. He has control over towards top red, and he swings. Bolo is down, and Achieved needs to get himself into this round.
And he doesn't have much time. The smoke's actually going to aid him here. He can just literally pick up that diffuser, go straight back to site, can stick it. And, well, Esker's at least a distance away, not going to be able to get there in time, especially. We'll have to now play for the retake. Who can win off the swing? Achieved should know. He gets the information. He swings out. He's just not going to be able to hit a single bullet into Esker. Esker, of course, with a bit of an advantage there, but did give an opportunity over to TSM. They'll get the defuse, and another round will go to Parabellum. TSM will rue their chances in that round. They had some, guys. They had some opportunities, just couldn't capitalize.
You back Achieved in those situations. He is such a strong player for TSM, but in the unfavorable position, some may say, as he was forced to swing wide. Esker able to capitalize, and sure, the MPX doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it was just enough in that scenario to close out the round. A couple of unfortunate picks there for TSM. Geometrics, for example, trying to swing wide with the flashbang, shut down. Achieved, not probably having as much of an impact on that rappel as he would have liked, and then narrowly missing the clutch there. You can see the relief for Parabellum. They know they needed that round.
They definitely did. Otherwise, a 5-3 scoreline for TSM was looming. 4-4, though, definitely, right now, you'd have to say Parabellum in the driver's seat. The fact that they're on the defense here on Villa haven't really put a foot wrong yet. 2 round wins in a row. Solid defensively on both sites above. Now you become downstairs, kitchen dining, and we'll see if they can make it 3 from 3, do the world tour, as they say. And it's been Esker to take over the mantle. All of the talk early game was about spirits. Okay, he gets the quad in the opening round. He's popping off. It's going to be the spirit show. And then he dies down and it all simmers. But Esker has now stood up and said, all right, old mate's taking a bit of a rest. I'm going to pop off. 11-1-3 and has proven to be a difference maker. Only gets 1 kill in that last round. Well, not 1 kill, but the final kill of that last round, you only get 1 kill for it. But you win the round. And it's just more important than the stat says than anything.
An impactful play there from Esker. And now TSM will be looking to respond with an impact play of their own.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Merc was looking sharp on the entry in that last round, so he could be the one to step up here and go hard in the gunfights, which in a couple of these rounds have, unfortunately for TSM, not been falling their way. Saw that in one of the previous rounds where Parabellum just hit some of the nuttiest flicks you'll ever see, one after another, and it was a little bit of a tilt for TSM, but who knows how exactly this round will play out. It's a downstairs defense inside of Kitchen for Parabellum. TSM will be looking to take control above, but Penguin, and that's what we're talking about. The aggression. It shuts down Geo, and that's the Habana off the board.
And that's another opening pick to Parabellum. This has gone beyond being a trend now. This is just the way it's going to be, apparently, here on Villa. TSM just not able to get opening picks, to not have this advantage. Parabellum just constantly at a 5-on-4 advantage, which is why they're probably winning these late round gunfights, because they're just able to trade back and forth and always have one that's over the other. Oh, that's a swing from Penguin through the doorway. Merc got a lot of damage and then gets the kill onto Euphoria. Will punish Parabellum here. Already into Memorial, and that's a good sign here for TSM. Charla gets the finish on the Penguin. There is a team kill. Oh no, the dynamic duo of Esker and Spirits, it's backfired momentarily. Esker then got a kill, but it's immediately traded. And this round has just fallen to pieces by Parabellum's standards. This will be surely an easy round win for TSM. Air jab will catch Sona. Another one will catch Sona. And I think that Parabellum are definitely losing this one.
His position now well and truly given up above, and TSM are not giving him anything for free, and why should they? Sona desperately tries to find a pick from above.
Attackers need to protect it.
It's a desperate attempt at that. Only 20 seconds left. Of course, he still needs 7 to be able to counter defuse that kit. And there's nothing that he can do. Oh, it's a sharp shot. It's a very, very sharp shot. He can't back it up though, and he gets taken down. TSM claim the round.
That is a ridiculously good shot. I mean, that is just seriously an effort that not many are going to be able to replicate. But yeah, the round goes to TSM, as we kind of figured a little while ago. Good round from TSM, able to get into Memorial nice and early. I'm not sure exactly what Parabellum were doing on site, because it was a bit of a disaster hold, to be fair. The fact that there's even a team kill amongst all of that, just one of the more, I don't know, lesser performances that we've seen from Parabellum in terms of rounds, not just in this match, but even the MIBR match as well. I mean, Merc just basically almost gets a 2K for nothing. There was a trade elsewhere as well, but yeah, this is the shot from Sona. Clean. That is,
what is
so
that?
clean.
Can we get a vac check on that, please? I don't know how I feel about that one. That was crazy. But you're right. TSM were able to manipulate themselves in towards Sheets or Memorial, whichever you wish to call it, and Parabellum completely caught off guard. Merc was probably unfortunate that he didn't get the 2K transfer there, but the pressure was already applied. Parabellum were left running around, desperately trying to, I guess, get control back and stabilize that round, but they were unable to do so, and the relentless pressure from TSM was enough in the end. And like we've seen so far, their late round play, very, very strong for the most part.
10 seconds remaining.
Now 1 round away, I guess, from claiming that match point. That's the position you want to be in. As Parabellum head back over. Aviator and Games trying to equalize this match out.
Yeah, and look, I probably said it a couple of rounds ago. I thought TSM looked the better of the two teams despite an even scoreline, and well, that round probably solidifies that point just a little bit more here. And on the attack, if they can close out on Villa, on their attack, I think it really bodes well for TSM moving forward, not just for today, but even the playoffs, that they're finding form at the right time. And that's really what's the most critical part of an event like Six Invitational. It's one thing to be, you know, one of the best teams on day one, but you really want to be one of the best teams in the playoffs. That's when it matters the most. And I think TSM just building towards that. And if they can close this match out against a team that's in really good form in Parabellum, it's really good signs.
A bomb has been located.
TSM just taking their time here, establishing map control. Merc, he made a play inside of Memorial in the previous round, and he's found himself there once again. Bolo will find some feet and track a player. Merc misses that cross. I believe that was Sona coming up the stairs. Doesn't get caught. Maybe that is a mistake that TSM will prove to be costly for TSM, rather, later in this round. That said, not having a huge impact at the moment. Map control established here by TSM. The slow round so far, really not a whole lot going on outside of that map control being established, but it's been pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah, slowest round, I guess, by TSM standards right now on their attacks of Villa, but AVG, I think it's fine that they can, if they really want to, just play for the last 20-30 seconds, rush in, clear out the players of Parabellum. Euphoria trying to make a play through that
good.
hole.
That's good.
And it is going to deny.
Yeah. Solid work there from Euphoria. You can see Parabellum just sitting back and waiting here. TSM may well be forced into a plant near the map. Sonar getting aggressive on Study Door. There's a player on the outside down Rappel. It's achieved, but he does drop down the hatch. Sonar causing some issues for TSM on this round.
Yeah, it just gets out, fortunately, through that hatch, and it will at least open up this room now for TSM to start to push through. One of the smoke babes is going to go out. Charla pushes in with the diffuser regardless, and it's just going to have to find an avenue of trying to get this plant down. They're getting kills, so that kill feed just literally goes from 0 to 100 instantly. Eska still available and alive and needs to go big. Never mind, he's lost his partner in crime in Sonar. Charla goes off right now for TSM. Clean with their shots, clean with their execution, and now they've got match point against an informed Parabellum team. TSM just edging this match out round by round. They have been impressive.
It didn't look and it didn't feel amazing there for TSM in the late round, but they blew my expectations at least out of the water, finding entry after entry after entry, and there was no response from Parabellum. Again, looking frantic. Late round, difficult to recover that round back. TSM find themselves on match point. The confidence now flowing. They'll be looking to close this banner out nice and quickly. I don't see any reason why this form shouldn't falter, but Parabellum, all it takes is for one of their players again to step up here or there. Again, don't get me wrong, that's not going to be a consistent play style, but they have looked at their best when at least one of their star players has had a huge, huge round. Eska couldn't find himself in that one, left in the 1v4, and unfortunately the rest of the team really did capitulate.
Well, the good news, I guess, for Parabellum is they go back over to Stat Trophy, which has only been attacked successfully once in this match so far, which was actually Parabellum in doing so. TSM has not been able to take this site yet, so while they've got match point, they are still in this match and have to play at their best if they're going to close this one out. Parabellum now need to send it to overtime. In terms of the grand scheme of things, though, of course, this is Parabellum's final game of the group stage. If they lose this, they will go to 3 and 4 and most likely will avoid top 4, which means that they have to play in the lower bracket. TSM can, of course, complete this match point. They will go to 4 and 2, and they've still got another game to play later on. Provided they win that, well, then top 4 is pretty much a given. So TSM just close this one out, and then suddenly top 4 is looking all but likely, and that upper bracket run in the playoffs will be all yours. You'll get that double chance, as they say.
Activating drone.
Map control, the key storyline in this matchup, and again it will play out similarly here, but there's a player that might be caught off guard here. Merc swings, Merc connects, Sonar taken down, completely unaware that study control was forfeited. Eska, though, will try and respond with a pre-place from below.
It's not been a good game from Sonar so far, unfortunately. Merc has really stood up for TSM as well. Bit of a slow start, but has now been vital. In fact, has the most frags on the side of TSM, even more than Geo, who has just slowed a little bit in the last few rounds, but has had his teammates really aid him. He got the ball rolling individually, and now as a team, TSM are firing on all cylinders. Match point, they've gotten an opening pick for what feels like only the second time this entire match. Surely they will be able to close this one out on Villa and put Parabellum to bed.
Eight drones still available for TSM. You could see them peppering them around the map as Merc gets peppered himself. Engwin looks to aggress on that and hits the shot onto Merc. That is disgusting. No way that should have landed. And he gets his team back in this round. It's now a 4-on-4.
I would be so tilted if I'm Merc right there. Merc has been playing so well these last few rounds. He's hot, he's feeling it, gets a nice kill, gets that opening pick, and then just gets randomly wallbanged. Now he's taken out of the round. A very vital round at that. Minute left. Parabellum at least even up things slightly. Bolo takes out Euphoria. Spirits in bathroom. Oh, he's got 2 targets to deal with and he can't shoot them both at the same time. Parabellum falling by the wayside. It's left up to Esker and Penguin now in a 2 versus 3. Penguin got another one. Esker's totally can get the double. He got the headshot into Geo. He can follow this one up in the closet. He doesn't get the initial shots. Oh, he went back in too early. And Achieved will punish him. And it's only Penguin now left up into a 1 versus 2 on the defense. Charla has kit. He's going to place it down. Achieved is watching, waiting, but he doesn't get the elimination.
They're activating the diffuser. Defenders have located the diffuser.
What can Penguin do? It's a difficult situation, not match HP. I don't think he'll do it.
Not going to happen. TSM will close out Villa. They will defeat Parabellum. 7-4. They go to 4-2 overall in Group B.